Name is Jessica Simerson, and I am the Career Services Specialist for Adult Education at West Georgia Technical College. And what that means is that I am here to assist students as they are working through their GED program to determine what they want to do next. So, what comes next for you? Is it going to college or going into the workforce? I'm here to support you in however I can, whether that's filling out your application for college, determining how to afford college, which is what we're going to talk about today, and also doing a resume or getting ready to join the workforce. So, that is my role here at West Georgia Tech. And today we are going to talk about how you can afford to go to college. Says, "Can I afford college?" I want us to change that sentence to, "How can I afford college?" Because there are so many ways that you can receive financing to help you pay for college, especially once you receive your GED. That's going to open all of these opportunities for you. So, today we're going to talk about the different financial options that are available, what FAFSA is, the different types of financial aid, the FAFSA process, some rules and regulations that you have to follow when you receive federal financial aid, and then a few takeaways that you can carry with you after our presentation today. So, some of the financial aid options include federal and state financial aid through the FAFSA, which we are going to talk about in another slide coming up. So, I won't spend too much time on that right now. Another option that you have is called WIOA, the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, and that is through WorkSource Georgia. That is funding that is available to students who have financial need or who are considered dislocated workers or those that have been laid off from their employer, people that have been out of the workforce, and people that are going into certain specific programs. That program is really phenomenal, and if you're eligible for it, it would cover your tuition, fees, books, supplies, uniforms, tools if you need them. It covers really every financial aspect of college for you. There is a lengthy application process for that, and you do have to complete your FAFSA before you would be eligible for WIOA, but it's a really great opportunity to help pay for college if you qualify. So I definitely recommend, if you're interested in going to college, to fill out that application and see if you qualify for that funding that can really and truly assist you with everything that you need for college. Another option that we have specifically here at West Georgia Tech, but also at other institutions, are foundation scholarships. So we have a West Georgia Technical College Foundation, and they offer scholarships to students on the credit side each semester to help cover their tuition and fee expenses. So there is an application that you fill out each semester to determine what you're eligible for. Um, there are a lot of different scholarship opportunities available through our foundation. They can range anywhere from $500 to $1,500 each semester. And we do have scholarships that are not awarded each semester because students don't apply. So I definitely recommend that you always put in a foundation scholarship application because you never know what you could be eligible for. Some of those scholarships, all that you have to do to be eligible for them is be in a specific program at a specific campus. So there may be a company that comes forward and says, "We want to offer a scholarship opportunity to a student who's in the welding program at the Carroll campus." And anyone who is in the welding program at the Carroll campus could qualify for that scholarship. But if no one applies for that scholarship that meets those criteria, then that scholarship doesn't get awarded. So there are usually opportunities that don't get awarded each semester. So I definitely recommend that you look into those foundation scholarships, submit that application every semester, and you could get that funding to help pay for things as well. So outside of foundation scholarships, there are also external scholarships. So scholarships that don't come through West Georgia Technical College. You can Google search your program that you're going into and scholarship opportunities, and there are a ton of different scholarship applications available. So that is another thing that you can look into and that you can use to help pay for your college expenses. There is also a payment plan opportunity offered through West Georgia Tech, and that's called Nelnet. And what that is, if let's say you have applied for all the different types of financial aid and you still owe a balance of $200, that payment plan you could use to pay half of your balance up front and then make payments on the remaining portion of that balance throughout the semester to pay that off so that you're not having to come out of pocket with all of that up front. You can kind of pay over time. And the final option is student loans. They are a part of federal and state aid, but there are also private student loans that you can take out. And we just want that to be your absolute last resort. So, those are things, student loans are what you're going to have to repay. All of these other options outside of the payment plan are things that you don't repay. They're awarded to you, and that is funding to help you go to college. It's not something that you would have to go in and repay at any point. But student loans are something that you are responsible for repaying once you complete your program, and there is interest that is earned on those that you would have to pay in addition to that principal or original amount that you take out. So it's important that you just keep that in mind. If you do need a student loan, that option is available to you, but we would recommend that you do everything that you can not to have to take out student loans and go into debt. Another thing you want to keep in mind with student loans is that you may be awarded or offered $5,000 for a student loan, and you may only need 500. So if you are awarded a loan and you decide to take advantage of that, only take out the minimum amount that you need to help cover those expenses so that you're not going into a ton of debt for your education. So now we want to talk about FAFSA and what that is. So, FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. And the reason that we're highlighting the word free here is because there are websites out there that will try to charge you to complete your FAFSA. And if you see that, that is a scam. Do not fall for that trap. Run away from that at full speed and just know that that FAFSA application is free for you to complete. You should not ever be charged to complete that application. It is going to use your household size and income to determine your eligibility for both federal and state financial aid. It is again free. It's an online application process, and you can start that at any time. You do not have to wait until you're finished with your GED to go ahead and start your FAFSA process. You can go ahead and do that when you think you're close to being finished. And it's important that you do go ahead and do that so that that can get processed in plenty of time before the fee payment deadline for your semester. So if you know that you're going to start classes in January, you feel like you're going to get your GED done, the deadline to have that FAFSA completed is November 1st. So if you know that you want to start classes in January, then you need to go ahead and be starting that FAFSA. Even now, you can go ahead and start that and get that in process so that that is ready and waiting for you. As soon as you finish that GED, you can go ahead and put in your application, your admissions application, and you'll know that that FAFSA is already there just waiting for you to be ready. The application is valid for one school year. So the school year is fall, spring, and summer. So fall is August to December, spring is January to May, and summer is June and July. So those are our semesters each year, and the FAFSA is good for one full school year. So you complete that before the fall semester each year. And it is based off of your taxes from 2 years prior. So you, even if you have not done your taxes for this year, you can still go ahead and apply because it's using tax information from 2 years ago. There is a possibility that you will receive enough funding to cover all of your college related expenses. So you can graduate debt free just from receiving the FAFSA funding. So you may not need the other forms of financial aid. If you get enough money from FAFSA, you can cover all of your tuition and fees, buy your books, take care of everything that you need without even needing to apply for any other kinds of financial aid. So there are four basic types of financial aid: grants, scholarships, work study, and student loans. So, grants and scholarships and work study funding are the ones that you do not have to repay, but the student loans are the ones that absolutely must be repaid. So, some of the different grants that are offered through West Georgia Tech through FAFSA are the Pell Grant. That, again, is one that does not have to be repaid. It's based on income guidelines and the program that you want to pursue. So, once you've completed your FAFSA, you can go and talk with someone in financial aid, and they can let you know if you're eligible for Pell and what programs are Pell eligible, or you can say to them, I'm interested in going into cosmetology. Is that a program that is covered by Pell Grant? And they can let you know. There's also the Hope Grant. That one is funded by the Georgia Lottery. You are required to be a resident of Georgia and in either a certificate or a diploma program. So, West Georgia Tech offers three levels of programs: certificate, diploma, and degree. Basically, the differences there are just the length of the program. So, a certificate is the shortest, diploma is the middle, and degree is the longest. So the HOPE grant is for students that are in either a certificate or a diploma program. There is the Hope Career Grant. That one is from the governor of Georgia. He determines which programs are going to be eligible for that funding. So basically, what he's going to do is look at the job market in Georgia and where positions are available or open. And he's going to say, okay, I want to fund scholarships or grants for students that are studying to go into that field because we need more workers in that area. So there is an offer of this additional grant money for students that are going into high demand career fields in a certificate or a diploma. Again, you do have to be a resident of Georgia to receive that funding, but if you're in one of those programs, you automatically get that funding as well. So, one of the scholarships that is a part of FAFSA is the Hope Scholarship. And that one, you do have to be in a degree program. So the Hope Grant is for certificate and diploma. Hope Scholarship is for degree level students. You are required to have a minimum of a 3.0 GPA and have completed 30 semester hours before you're eligible to receive that Hope Scholarship. But that is another option that you have if you decide to go for a degree. And then, like we talked about, there are federal direct loans. Those are low interest loans from the U.S. Department of Education, and there's not an income requirement. However, like we've stated, loans should be your last resort option. So that's the thing that you want to see if you get any other financial aid first. If that other financial aid is enough to cover everything, then you don't want to take out any loans. Also, the other type of financial aid that we kind of didn't mention here is work study. So, the work study program is a part of our financial aid program as well. And what that is there is funding that is available to students so that you can work at the college in a position with a department while you're in school to get some work experience. And then you would get a paycheck that comes from your financial aid. So that is an option that you've got that can help cover some of your expenses outside of your tuition and fees, just a little extra money for you to have throughout the school year. The work study program will work with your class schedule to make sure that you've got time to attend your classes and then be able to work. They are not the highest paying jobs, but it's definitely a great way to get some work experience and earn a little bit more money while you're in college. The process. So there's four steps to the FAFSA process. The first step is going to be to create your federal student aid ID, and you just do that on the website. So you're just basically creating your account, and that is the same account that you're going to use during your entire time in college. So when you create that federal student aid ID, you're going to want to make sure that you make a note of that username and password because that is what you'll need to use to complete your FAFSA every year going forward. So once you've created your federal student aid ID, then you'll go in and complete your FAFSA. You'll use West Georgia Tech school code or whatever school you're going to. They'll have a code that you enter in FAFSA so that your information gets sent to them. You do not have to have your tax information right in front of you when you're completing FAFSA. There is an IRS data retrieval tool that you can use that will pull the tax information from the IRS and put that into your FAFSA for you. And then 2 to 3 days, business days after you've submitted that FAFSA, you're going to get a student aid report, which gives you all of the aid that you're eligible for based off of your FAFSA. Then you can take that information to West Georgia Tech, to our financial aid department, and they can walk you through what all of that means, what that looks like for you, because that student aid report is going to show you what you're eligible for the entire year. And you would need them to help you break that down into what you would get each semester. It is important to remember that there are priority deadlines or dates for your FAFSA. So, for instance, if you were wanting to attend fall semester, which started on August 21st, you would have needed to have your FAFSA submitted no later than July 5th to have everything in on time for fee payment deadline. Now, you can submit your FAFSA after that date, but if you do, your FAFSA may not be processed in time for fee payment. So, that's why those deadlines are posted and why it's so important that if you do want to go to college, you start that FAFSA as early as possible. Then November 1st is the deadline for spring semester. So spring semester classes again are going to start in January. If you think you want to start in January, they want you to have that FAFSA submitted and completed by November 1st so that there's plenty of time to get that information processed and in the system before the fee payment deadline. So, with anything, there are rules and regulations for financial aid. There are GPA requirements each semester that you have to meet. So, they want to see that you're attending your classes and that you're attempting to do the best that you can possibly do in order to continue receiving financial aid. If you withdraw, which means that after the first 3 days of class, there's some point in the semester where you say, I just can't do this. I don't think I'm going to pass. You withdraw from your class and stop attending. That can result in you owing a portion of your financial aid back to the institution. So, if you feel like you get to that point in this semester and you say, I just don't think I'm going to pass, I think I just need to quit, it's important that you, number one, talk with your instructor, ask them how they think you're doing, and if they think that you can improve enough to successfully complete that class. And then if they say, you might be better off withdrawing, it's important that you then go and talk to someone in financial aid before you withdraw from any classes, just so that you can have an idea of how that's going to impact you financially. If you withdraw, are you going to owe money back? That's something that the financial aid department can help you determine before you process that withdrawal. You are required to complete 66.666 classes, percent of the classes that you attempt. So if you do those withdrawals frequently throughout the year, you can lose eligibility for financial aid in the future. So we want to see that you're attending classes, that you're completing those classes in order for you to continue to receive that financial aid. You are required to complete a new FAFSA before the fall semester each year for your eligibility to be recalculated and to just see if anything has changed with your income. You might be eligible for more funding than you were previously, depending on your financial aid status, your financial status. And if you have any questions, we do have financial aid staff on every one of our campuses that are happy to answer your questions at any time. Now, the caveat to that is that right now they're very, very busy because they're trying to get everything ready for fall semester and that fee payment deadline. But if you wanted to go and talk with them sometime in September or sometime in October, they are definitely happy to answer any questions that you have about financial aid. about what programs are covered and what you might be eligible for. Especially if you go ahead and do your FAFSA now, then in September or October, you could go and talk with them and say, can you tell me what I'm eligible for? What program might be best based off of what I can receive? And they are happy to help you with that at any time. So, a few takeaways. Number one, FAFSA is free. Remember to not be fooled into paying for FAFSA. It is free for you to complete, and if you need assistance, you can come to campus and someone in financial aid can help you with that. You can start that application at any time to be ready for college. You do not have to wait until you're done with your GED to start your FAFSA. There are many types of financial aid that you might be eligible for to help pay for college. Please remember that there are ways to pay for college without going into debt, and you may qualify for all of that financial aid. We want you to think beyond just getting this GED. What could you do? And if you never thought that college was a possibility for you before, it may really be, and you might be able to complete an entire program and graduate debt free. So, without taking out any loans, not owing any money back, you can do this if that is the direction that you want to go in. If you have any questions or need any help completing your FAFSA, there are staff members on campus and they're happy to assist you, especially once they get through this busy season right now. And if you would like to go and meet with someone on campus, but you don't want to go by yourself, I'm happy to go with you, introduce you to our financial aid staff so that you can get comfortable with them and they can help you through that process. So that's going to complete our workshop for today, but I wanted to give you some information about workshops that are coming up. So, in the month of September, I'm going to be doing a resume building workshop. So, we're going to talk about how to create your resume, what items you should include on there. In October, we're going to talk about West Georgia Tech 101, which is the application process. So, going through admissions, getting admitted as a student, what that looks like, what those deadlines are. In November, we're going to talk about interview skills. So, when you're getting ready to go to an interview, how do you prepare for that? What questions should you expect? And then in December, we're going to talk about Adulting 101. So, we're going to talk about finances and balancing your checkbook and saving for the future and what that looks like for you. You've made it this far. Thank you for coming through this journey with me. I do have a brief survey that I would love for you to fill out. If you take out your camera and take out your phone and open up your camera app and zoom in on this QR code, there should be a link that pops up for you to complete a survey. It's very short. If you can complete that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Just want to make sure that I'm giving you information that's valid and helpful and give you the opportunity to provide me with some feedback. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this presentation today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm going to leave this slide up for just a little bit longer so you guys can complete that survey. And then we'll move on to the next slide, which just has my contact information on it. As a part of the program with West Georgia Technical College, once you complete 2 sections of your GED, I'm going to be reaching out and sending you an email and just saying, hey, can we meet? Can we talk about what you want to do next so that we can start making these plans to make sure you're going to meet any deadlines that you've got? So we will go on to the next slide. You are welcome to reach out to me at any time if you've got questions. If it's something that I don't have the answer to, we will figure it out and I'll get you to the right person. So, this is my contact information. Don't hesitate to reach out at any point. But, like I said, I will be contacting you once you've completed 2 sections of your GED to start having a conversation about what comes next for you and making those plans. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. Congratulations on your progress. Keep working hard. Know that we're proud of you and that we're here to support you. And again, if there's anything that I can help you with, please let me know. Have a great day.